In the realm of intellectual discourse, where the clash of ideas should illuminate rather than obfuscate, we have been presented with a conversation that oscillates between the profound and the profoundly speculative. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, a figure of no small controversy, has taken it upon himself to venture into the intricate web of metabolic disorders and mental health, alongside Dr. Chris Palmer, whose expertise in psychiatry is evidently being stretched to its limits in a quixotic quest to link the biochemical with the psychological in ways that, while fascinating, border on the realms of the overly ambitious and, dare one say, the pseudoscientific. The episode in question, an odyssey through the mind's darkest recesses and the body's metabolic mysteries, posits a connection between diet, mitochondrial function, and severe mental disorders that, while not entirely without merit, seems to skate on the thin ice of conjecture rather than solid empirical evidence. The suggestion that a ketogenic diet, or God forbid an all-beef diet, could be the panacea for conditions as complex and varied as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and depression is not just overly simplistic, it is dangerously reductive. One cannot help but recall the era of phrenology, where the bumps on one's head were thought to reveal character and mental faculties. Are we now to believe that the route to mental wellness lies through the stomach, or more precisely, through the mitochondria? Dr. Peterson and Dr. Palmer seem to advocate for a return to a state of metabolic grace through dietary intervention, a concept that is as seductive as it is scientifically tenuous. The mitochondria, those powerhouses of the cell, are indeed crucial for energy production, but to leap from this undisputed fact to the conclusion that they are the linchpin in treating severe mental disorders is to engage in a form of biological reductionism that is unworthy of serious consideration. The discussion of fasting as a miraculous intervention capable of inducing autophagy and promoting mental wellness is another area where the conversation veers into the territory of the speculative. Fasting, while undoubtedly beneficial in certain contexts, is not a new discovery, despite the reverence with which it is treated in the podcast. It has been a component of various religious and cultural practices for millennia, often for reasons more spiritual than scientific. To dress it up in the garb of modern science does little to advance our understanding of its benefits and risks. Moreover, the anecdotal evidence presented as a beacon of hope for those suffering from severe mental illness is problematic. While personal stories have their place, they cannot and should not supplant rigorous, peer-reviewed research. The plural of anecdote is not data, a fact that seems to have been forgotten in the eagerness to promote a dietary solution to complex mental health issues. In their zeal to explore new frontiers in the treatment of mental disorders, Dr. Peterson and Dr. Palmer have embarked on a journey that, while undoubtedly well-intentioned, risks oversimplifying the intricate dance between mind and body. Mental illness cannot be boiled down to a failure of metabolism, nor can it be cured by diet alone. The human psyche is not a machine that can be tinkered with until it runs smoothly. It is a complex, deeply individual, and often unfathomable entity that defies easy solutions. Thus, we find ourselves ensnared in a web of pseudo-scientific postulations that, while dressed in the garb of modern medical discourse, hark back to a bygone era of medical quackery. This carnivorous caper, espoused with evangelical fervor by Dr. Peterson and his psychiatric compatriot, veers dangerously close to the ideological underpinnings of a far-right fixation on purity, be it of the body or the body politic. The notion that a return to a primal, meat-centric diet could act as a panacea for the complex maladies of the mind smacks of a regressive, pseudo-Darwinian fantasy of survival of the fittest, in its most puerile sense of course, where only those with the fortitude to subsist on such a Spartan regimen can hope to achieve mental salvation. This is not just a leap of faith over the chasm of scientific rigor. It is a headlong plunge into the abyss of biological determinism, where one's mental health is seemingly held hostage by the whims of one's mitochondria. The reckless promotion of such a diet as a universal solution to mental disorders not only flirts with the fringes of extremist ideology, which often venerates the primordial and the traditional over the complex realities of modern life, but also risks undermining decades of nuanced research into mental health. It is a narrative as dangerous as it is seductive, offering up the illusion of control and the promise of recovery at the cost of a simplistic reduction of the rich tapestry of human psychology to mere metabolic malfunction.